Are you ready for a new video? Asia is the largest continent on the planet, comprising 49 unique countries. While South Korea and Japan are known for their advanced technological progress, other Asian countries are still overcoming significant economic challenges. In today's episode, we will explore the 10 poorest countries in Asia that have the most beautiful women, and where you can live on just $300 a month. Who do you think will top our list for affordability? Could it be Cambodia, Myanmar, Nepal, or Afghanistan? Leave your guesses in the comment section below, and let's start our adventure with our first stop, Yemen. Yemen, number 10. Yemen encompasses an area of about 527,000 square kilometers, which is twice the size of Wyoming, but with an incredibly diverse terrain. Yemen, home to approximately 30 million people, is a country of warm hospitality and deep cultural heritage. Yemen ranks as one of the world's least developed nations, standing 183rd out of 191 countries in the United Nations Human Development Index of 2021 to 2022. Around 79% of the population lives below the poverty line, and 65% are considered extremely poor, with a gross national income per capita of $940. Yemeni women, in particular, are known for their striking features, often highlighted by their vibrant dress and the traditional shahs, a facial tattoo symbolizing beauty and pride in their heritage. General expenses in Yemen are approximately 24% lower than in the US, with rental costs dramatically more affordable, about 84.3% cheaper. A one-bedroom apartment in the city center rents for roughly $220 per month, while the same can be found for about $135 outside the city center. The estimated monthly living expenses without rent tally up to about $883. Transportation is also incredibly economical. A monthly pass for public transport will set you back just about $48. Dining out remains a bargain as well. An inexpensive restaurant meal averages around $1.32, while a meal for two at a mid-range restaurant costs about $1.57. Tajikistan. Tajikistan, officially known as the Republic of Tajikistan, spans an area of about 143,144 square kilometers. Surrounded by Afghanistan, China, Kyrgyzstan, and Uzbekistan, it boasts a population of approximately 9.5 million people. Tajikistan is a haven for nature enthusiasts and adventure seekers, with over 90% of its terrain covered by the majestic peaks of the Pamir mountain range, also known as the Roof of the World. Despite its natural beauty, Tajikistan faces significant economic challenges, often ranking as the second or third poorest country in Asia. A lack of infrastructure and a devastating civil war in the 1990s, which destroyed about 20% of schools, have hindered economic development and education, critical factors in alleviating poverty. The country's gross national income per capita stands at just $1,490, reflecting these difficulties. The beauty of Tajik culture is vividly expressed through the distinctive Central Asian beauty of Tajik women, characterized by their striking features, dark hair, and olive-toned skin. Traditional attire like the colorful kura is not only a fashion statement, but also a symbol of the people's deep connection to their heritage and customs. In Dushanbe, the capital, renting a one-bedroom apartment in the city center costs between $300 to $400 per month, substantially less than in U.S. cities like Austin, Texas, where you might pay over $1,500 for a similar space. Grocery shopping also offers considerable savings. A loaf of bread costs around 50 cents, significantly cheaper than the $2 to $4 you might pay in the US. Transportation costs are incredibly low, with a typical one-way ticket on local transport costing just 20 cents, a fraction of the $2.50 you'd pay in a major US city. Utilities in Tajikistan, including electricity, heating, cooling, water, and garbage services, cost between $30 to $50 per month, far less than the $100 to $200 typical in the US. The living cost for a single person to live comfortably is on a budget of $700 to $1,000 per month. While Cambodia boasts stunning landscapes, what economic hurdles does it face today? Stay tuned. Cambodia. Cambodia is nestled in the heart of Southeast Asia, bordered by Thailand, Laos, and Vietnam, covering approximately 181,350 square kilometers. Cambodia is a tapestry of lush landscapes and historical wonders. Home to about 16 million people, it's a nation rich in cultural heritage, with the majority residing in rural settings. Yet the bustling city of Phnom Penh stands as a vibrant capital filled with life. Despite Cambodia's recent economic strides, it continues to face challenges with widespread income inequality and limited human resources. The country struggles under the weight of poverty. The government's efforts to improve infrastructure have been sluggish, leaving many of its citizens in hardship. The gross national income per capita is a modest $1,490, underscoring the economic situation. Beyond the economic figures, the spirit of Cambodia shines through its people, especially its women, who add a unique aesthetic with their traditional sampot, a beautiful garment woven into their heritage for centuries. These women are not only a symbol of beauty, but of strength and resilience, having played a pivotal role in the nation's recovery and growth. Living here can be significantly cheaper compared to the United States. For instance, renting a one-bedroom apartment in the city center ranges between $300 to $500 per month. In contrast, in a typical U.S. city, you'd be looking at $1,500 to $3,000 for a similar setup. Move away from the city center, and you can find places in Cambodia for as low as $200 per month. When it comes to utilities, including electricity, heating, cooling, and water, you're looking at an average of $50 to $80 monthly. In Cambodia, you might spend around $30 for a week's worth of fresh produce, meat, and essentials, something that could easily cost you $80 back in the US. Dining out remains a bargain as well. A meal at an inexpensive restaurant typically costs between $3 to $5 compared to at least $15. In the US, transportation is incredibly cheap too. Local bus fares are under $1, and taxis and ride shares maintain lower base fares and per kilometer costs compared to those in the US. Overall, your total monthly expenses in Cambodia can range from $620 to $1,160, depending on your lifestyle and spending habits. All right, before we move on to the 7th position, I have a question I'd like to ask you. Where are you from? How does the cost of living in your country compare to living abroad? Perhaps you have some stories you would like to share. Please leave a comment below. I'm eager to hear your thoughts. Kyrgyzstan, number 7. Kyrgyzstan is a fascinating blend of stunning natural beauty and cultural diversity. It's home to Kyrgyz, Uzbeks, Russians, and more. But it's also among the poorest nations in Asia, with a gross national income per capita of just $1,160. Kyrgyzstan's struggle with poverty is tied to its past as a Soviet state until 1991. Transitioning from a centrally planned to a market economy brought significant challenges. Today, many Kyrgyz depend on agriculture, making their income susceptible to climate changes and market shifts. Kyrgyz women are renowned for their distinct Central Asian beauty, with a blend of Eastern and European features. They often have high cheekbones, almond-shaped eyes, and flowing dark hair, reflecting the rich tapestry of ethnicities that have traversed this region. Traditional dress, such as the colorful and ornate elichek, a turban-like headscarf, adds to their elegance, especially during cultural festivals and weddings. Renting a one-bedroom apartment in a city center costs about $270 monthly. Move just a bit outside the city, and it drops to around $160. In contrast, in the US, you're looking at a minimum of $1,500 for a similar setup in city centers. Grocery shopping offers more savings. A liter of milk costs roughly 70 cents. A loaf of fresh white bread is about 40 cents. And a kilogram of chicken breast is $3.60. These prices are a fraction of what you'd pay in the US, where you're looking at 89 cents for milk, $2.50 for bread, and $10 for chicken. Eating out is also a bargain in Kyrgyzstan. A meal at an inexpensive restaurant is just $3.50, significantly less than the starting price of $15 in the US. Utility costs are equally low, with monthly charges for electricity, heating, cooling, water, and garbage at about $35, compared to the US average of $150. Public transport is another area where Kyrgyzstan offers incredible value. A monthly pass costs around $12 versus $75 and more in US cities. Fuel costs less too, with gasoline priced at 60 cents per liter compared to 80 cents in the US. So a single person in Kyrgyzstan can live comfortably with a monthly budget ranging from $500 to $700. Meanwhile, a similar lifestyle in the US would likely run upwards of $2,500 or more. Ever heard of a country that measures success not by economic activity, but by the happiness of its citizens? We'll explore how Bhutan's unique philosophy affects its national policies and citizens in the next segment. Well-being. Number 6. Bhutan. Bhutan, roughly the size of Switzerland, covers an area of about 38,390 square kilometers, with a population of around 763,000. This constitutional monarchy blends traditional governance styles with fierny discourses democratic frameworks. Bhutan is renowned not just for its breathtaking landscapes, but for its deep cultural heritage and the unique philosophy of gross national happiness, prioritizing the well-being of its citizens above economic metrics. Despite its rich culture, Bhutan remains economically challenged, with a gross national income per capita of $2,860, placing it on the lower rungs of global income scales. The terrain complicates distribution and access to services like healthcare and education, which are crucial for community well-being. Youth unemployment is a particular concern, with rates having peaked at 13.2% in the year 2018, though it has slightly improved to about 6.4% as of the year 2023. Bhutan's identity is vividly expressed through its people and traditions. Bhutanese women, often seen in the vibrant, ankle-length kira, embody the nation's aesthetic and cultural pride. This traditional dress is more than just clothing. It's a proud declaration of Bhutanese heritage. Living in Bhutan can be significantly cheaper than in the United States. For instance, renting a one-bedroom apartment in Thimphu, the capital, costs between $200 to $400 per month, a fraction of what you'd pay in a US city. Groceries follow the same affordable trend, with a typical basket costing between $30 to $50, thanks to the local and seasonal produce available. Monthly utilities like electricity, heating, and water average around $30 to $50, quite affordable compared to US costs. However, internet services are on the pricier side at $40 to $80 per month. Public transport is limited yet affordable, with monthly expenses under $30. Healthcare in Bhutan, mostly subsidized by the government, offers basic services at a very low cost. The overall monthly expenses for a single person range from $500 to $1,100, making it an affordable option compared to the $2,000 to $3,000 needed in the US. If you're dreaming of a retirement filled with peace, cultural immersion, and natural beauty, Bhutan might just be your next home. Myanmar. Myanmar, often hailed for its scenic beauty and rich cultural tapestry, presents a striking contrast between its traditional Buddhist pagodas and remnants of British colonial architecture. As we explore its vibrant cities and tranquil villages, you'll discover why this nation is not just a visual feast, but also a top contender for an affordable retirement. Despite its charm, Myanmar remains one of Asia's poorest nations. The gross national income per capita stands at $1,260, reflecting its primary reliance on agriculture and fishing. These sectors, while vital, contribute significantly to its economic challenges. From 2005 to 2018, Myanmar saw improvements in economic growth and poverty reduction, but recent years have been tough. Issues like job shortages, the impacts of climate change, and rising poverty levels have put a damper on progress. Now, let's talk about the people of Myanmar. Known for their hospitality, Burmese people, especially the women, are noted for their distinctive beauty and charm, characterized by their petite figures, shiny black hair, and sweet facial features. This welcoming community is a big plus for expats and retirees looking for a friendly new home. For those considering Myanmar for retirement, the cost of living is a huge draw. Renting a one-bedroom apartment in Yangon, the largest city, can cost between $300 to $400 monthly, far less than the $1,200 or more you'd expect in a mid-sized city in the U.S. Groceries are similarly affordable, with monthly expenses for a single person estimated at $50 to $100. Dining out won't break the bank either. A meal at an inexpensive restaurant typically costs just a few dollars. Bus fares are less than $1, and taxis, though not metered, are reasonably priced. In contrast, in the U.S., public transport costs $2 to $3 per ride, and taxis and ride shares are much pricier. All things considered, a retiree could live comfortably in Myanmar on a monthly budget of $500 to $1,100. This is a fraction of the $2,500 to $3,500 needed for a modest lifestyle in an American city. If you're wondering about language barriers, Myanmar ranks 70th in the EF English Proficiency Index as of the year 2022. Thanks to its colonial history, English is widely taught from kindergarten through higher education, making it easier for English-speaking expats to communicate. Pakistan allocates a significant portion of its budget to defense, but what effect does this have on its education system and overall economic development? Stay tuned for the next segment. Pakistan, stretching over an area of approximately 88,191 square kilometers, ranks as the world's 33rd largest country. Home to nearly 233 million people, it stands as the 5th most populous nation on Earth. This country is a vibrant tapestry of diverse cultures and languages, offering a glimpse into a world where every region tells a different story. From the majestic snow-capped peaks of the Himalayas in the north to the sun-drenched beaches of the Arabian Sea in the south, Pakistan presents a stunning array of natural beauty. Despite its rich natural resources, about 40% of Pakistan's population lives in extreme poverty, with a gross national income per capita of only $1,280. The reasons behind this include governmental corruption, religious and secular conflicts, and a limited embrace of democratic ideals. Interestingly, the nation allocates a significant portion of its budget to defense, with only 2.6% dedicated to education. Consequently, nearly half of the Pakistani populace lacks education. Pakistan's women, in particular, are known for their vibrant shalwar kameez, adorned with intricate embroidery and colorful patterns, symbolizing not just a fashion choice, but a proud cultural identity. More so, the resilience of Pakistani women, who often lead the charge for change despite facing societal challenges like gender inequality and limited educational opportunities in certain areas, adds to their unique strength and beauty. Living in Pakistan can be surprisingly affordable, especially when compared to living in the United States. Renting a one-bedroom apartment in the city center can cost as little as $150 to $200 per month. In contrast, a similar setup would typically run between $1,500 to $2,000 in U.S. city centers. Public transportation in Pakistan cities might only set you back a few dollars for a monthly pass, whereas in the U.S., you could expect to pay $70 to $100. Dining out in Pakistan won't break the bank either. A meal at an inexpensive restaurant typically costs about $2 to $3 compared to $15 to $20 in the U.S. While healthcare costs are generally lower, it's important to note that the quality and availability of services can vary significantly compared to what you might expect in the U.S. For someone living alone, monthly expenses can range between $425 to $645, making it an attractive option for retirees seeking a more relaxed, cost-effective lifestyle. Now, the last three countries will make you take a closer look when considering moving. Before we continue, could you take just 10 seconds to hit that subscribe button? It really helps our channel grow and means a lot to us. In return, my team and I commit to continuously improving the program for you. Do we have Afghanistan? Deal number 3. Afghanistan, known officially as the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan, this country sits at the crossroads of Central and South Asia. It's roughly the size of Texas, covering an area of about 62,000 square kilometers, with a vibrant population of around 40 million. Afghanistan boasts a rich cultural mosaic, home to Pashtuns, Tajiks, Hazaras, and Uzbeks, each adding unique flavors to the nation's traditions and festivals. Unfortunately, Afghanistan remains one of the least economically developed countries in Asia. As of the year 2024, the gross national income per capita is a mere $500, impacted heavily by ongoing conflicts, government corruption, and significant income inequality. The return of the Taliban's governance in mid-2021, following the withdrawal of U.S. and UN troops, has introduced uncertainties in its economic recovery, exacerbated by conflicts with ISIL and policies that restrict women's economic participation. Afghan women, known for their distinctive beauty and vibrant traditional attire, showcase their heritage through intricate textiles and detailed jewelry. The Kuchi dress, for example, is a beautiful garment adorned with embroidery and mirrorwork, reflecting a community deeply rooted in aesthetic tradition. The cost of living in Afghanistan might be surprisingly appealing for retirees looking for a budget-friendly option. Monthly expenses for an individual, excluding rent, average around $46. This is significantly lower than in the U.S., where the cost of living is about 68.4% higher. Dining out remains affordable too. A basic meal in an inexpensive restaurant costs just $2. Utilities in Afghanistan are also modestly priced. Monthly utilities average about $28, with internet services running about $21 per month for a standard 8 Mbps connection. Housing costs present the most significant savings, with prices about 93.6% lower on average than in the U.S. A one-bedroom apartment in the city center runs about $110 per month, while moving to the suburbs can lower that cost to around $64 monthly. Number 2. Nepal. Nepal, a treasure nestled among the highest peaks on Earth, is not just home to 8 of the 10 highest mountains in the world, including the majestic Mount Everest. It's also a kaleidoscope of rich cultural traditions and diverse ethnic groups. Each community here celebrates its own array of vibrant festivals and customs, making Nepal a truly colorful and diverse country. Despite its stunning natural beauty and cultural wealth, Nepal is one of the least economically developed countries in Asia. As of the year 2024, the gross national income per capita stands at $1,190. This economic status is influenced by a variety of challenges, including a decade-long civil war that ended in the year 2006, frequent natural disasters like earthquakes and floods, and geographical hurdles such as its mountainous terrain and lack of sea access. Additionally, the lack of access to quality education for the poor and rural populations, coupled with the scarcity of well-paying jobs and rising housing costs, has hindered economic growth. Despite these challenges and being rich in natural resources, Nepal has struggled to capitalize on these assets through exports. The beauty of Nepal is not confined to its landscapes. Nepali women, with their enchanting mix of ethnic backgrounds, have captivating large eyes, elegant straight noses, seductive full lips, and beautiful long hair. The charm and friendliness of Nepali women are woven into the fabric of their society. The grace of these women is evident in their daily activities, whether they're weaving on a loom, working in the fields, or leading community initiatives. Living in Nepal comes with an added advantage: its affordability. A single person's monthly living expenses in Nepal, excluding rent, amount to approximately $374. This is significantly lower than in the United States, where similar expenses without rent can exceed $2,000. This makes the cost of living in Nepal roughly 83.9% lower than in the US. Eating out is also incredibly affordable. A meal at an inexpensive restaurant costs about $1.92, and a typical lunch in the business district, including a drink, is around $2.62. Housing costs are equally low, with the monthly rent for a one-bedroom apartment in the city center being about $16. If you choose to live outside the city center, this cost drops to approximately $76. Even monthly utilities for a modest apartment generally amount to around $23. Number 1. Uzbekistan. Spanning over 448,000 square kilometers, Uzbekistan ranks as the 56th largest country in the world. It's a land of contrasts, from vast deserts to lush river valleys, and is home to around 34 million people. This nation is not just a geographical marvel, but a cultural tapestry rich in traditions and brimming with the legacy of the Silk Road. Uzbekistan, a former Soviet Union member, is now making its mark in the global economy with its production of commodities like gold, copper, uranium, and cotton. However, it's important to note that despite its resource wealth, the country faces significant challenges due to widespread corruption and income inequality, which have been barriers to its economic progress. The gross national income per capita stands at $1,670, reflecting these issues. Uzbek women, with their striking features and the elegant sense of style, also carry a legacy of resilience and intelligence. The soul of Uzbek women is nurtured by strong family values and a rich cultural heritage. Respect for elders and a sense of community are ingrained from a young age. This deep moral foundation is visible in the way they balance respect for traditions with modern attitudes toward work and social engagement. Despite economic challenges, Uzbekistan offers a cost-effective living option compared to the United States. Living costs for a single person, excluding rent, range from $300 to $400 a month. Housing is also affordable. In the capital city of Tashkent, A modern one-bedroom apartment can cost between $200 to $500 monthly, depending on the location and amenities. Basic utilities for an apartment of 915 square feet come to about $44.36 monthly. High-speed internet is a steal at roughly $13.97 per month. Dining out remains affordable, with a budget-friendly meal at a local restaurant averaging around $5, and a 3-course meal for 2 at a mid-range restaurant costing about $30. Groceries are equally reasonable. A loaf of bread costs about 40 cents, a liter of milk is approximately $1.10, and a dozen eggs cost around $1.77. If you found today's video interesting, don't hesitate to hit the like button and subscribe to the Discover Globe channel. Your support is very important to us. Be sure to check out the next video appearing on your screen. You're sure to love the content we bring. Please leave a comment about which country you'd like us to explore next. Thank you for watching, and see you in the latest video. Thanks for being with us on this great journey. Leave your thoughts in the comments and like to help us. Remember to subscribe for more. See you soon.